Hey, Coach. Can you talk about Caleb Huntley, like, and the rest of the offense, and like, I know despite the loss, like what you saw from them, and if that gives you any optimism?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Miami defensively has done a good job really the last several years. They do a lot of movement up front on the defensive line. So some of the yards are tough yards to come by. And, Caleb did a good job of just staying patient, trying to do a good job of taking what the defense was giving us. He hit a couple long ones, obviously, which was great to see. And, when you got a 230-pound back like that, I would like to see him have more touches than 21 carries there. Obviously, we're, fighting a little bit from 10 points down there to start the fourth quarter. So, but obviously, I thought he was very efficient in terms of his yardage. Obviously, finishing with 130 yards there. But, the offense goes through him. We want to have good balance. And he's a special player, a special runner. As the game goes on, he just keeps getting stronger. And, he can wear on a defense. And I thought some of the runs that we had there in tempo, we were getting them on tempo. And then, we hit him on a long 45-yard touchdown there by him on a toss play. And, he did a good job of really just making the first guy miss and taking care of the rest of the business there. And then obviously, on the last touchdown that we had there, he stuck his foot in the ground there and hit the seam and finished the deal there on the 18-yarder. So, obviously was proud of Caleb's effort tonight, to have the production that he did. And, you look at Justin, he had unbelievable production there with 4 catches and 124 yards. But, I think we still left a couple of opportunities out there where, we hit him in stride there on the one. And, perhaps he takes that in for a touchdown there when he had the go route up the boundary. And, he had to leave his feet or that might have had a big opportunity for us to take a lead there on a touchdown. But he's a competitor, man. I think he did a really good job tonight handling the return duties. We've put that on him this year, and, he's worked hard at it. And so both kick return and punt return, I thought, he made some good decisions there. And, Drew had, obviously made a mistake there at the end of the game. He tried to do too much. And obviously, we're all competitors. He thought he could just drop it over the defender's head there, and we had a big gain. And he needs to throw it away and fight another down. And so that was a first down play, and made a mistake. And he's got to own it. And we got to get back here and make sure we keep our chin up when we leave Oxford tonight. Get back, on the bus, get back to work, because we got Eastern Michigan coming to town next Wednesday night at Schumann Stadium. And that's the great thing about this conference, man. It is competitive from top to bottom. So every week's going to be a dogfight, and we got to learn from our mistakes and get back at it.
Hi. Can you just speak on how tough it is in a game like this, where one mistake can change the outcome of the game, where you guys didn't make any mistakes all game until late in the fourth quarter when it really mattered? Can you just touch on how that affects the morale of the team, and how you're trying to keep their heads up?
Yeah, I mean, it's we've worked hard. We've worked hard and obviously we've worked a lot of scenarios like that in practice where we're at the end of the game and it's a close game and we got to go down and deliver, and we didn't. And that's what's difficult to swallow, is because you feel like you put the team in that scenario in practice over and over and over in training camp. I guess you still call it training camp, but we put the team in that position in practice. And we got a lot of good work in, and we were in that situation there in a 2-minute situation. We had a timeout still, and all we had to do is get down there in field position. Big Jack, Jack Knight's confidence was high after hitting the 47-yarder to tie the game. So obviously we're trying to get down there and do a good job of, 2-minute execution and clocking the ball when we need to, trying to get out of bounds. And we didn't get it done. And I told the team afterwards, I said, hey, man, we got to own it. But we leave this locker room, we got to decide that we got to keep our chin up. You win as a team, you lose as a team. We lost. And we can't let that determine the rest of our season. And so we got beat by Miami. They're in the East. We need to take care of business in the West. And we'll be in a dogfight next week. Eastern Michigan's a good football team. We down to the wire with them last year. That's what's going to happen in this conference. You're going to be in a dogfight. And games are won and lost in the fourth quarter. And tonight was a great example. And we got to continue to make sure we prepare ourselves to play 4 quarters of of our best football. And even though we did a lot of good things and the game ebbs and flows, and I thought the defense battled back and battled strong there at the end of the game to put us in a position to have a chance to go win it. And offense, obviously we had an interception there, and doesn't matter how the rest of the game goes. It comes down to the moment in time when you need to deliver. We got to be able to do it. So I'm confident that these guys will keep their chin up when they leave the locker room. Got a lot of veteran, older guys, and got to take it like a man. Get on the bus, head back to Muncie, learn from our mistakes, and we got to move forward and get ourselves ready to go for Eastern.
Now, Coach, obviously losing to Miami isn't ideal in your first game. You have 5 more games on the slate. How does that change things for you looking towards these next 5 games? Does that become more of a must-win kind of attitude, or does that change anything for you?
Yeah, when you're playing a shortened season like that, I mean, all of them, to be honest with you, are must-win games. They're all must-win. Now, the good thing is that Miami's in the East. That's got the game that happened tonight, whether we lost that game or won that game, that's going to have no bearing on what shakes out here in the West. So, we got to put this behind us. We got to learn from the film, the mistakes and the things that we can correct and we can improve on. It's been, a year since we played in a football game. And so we got to learn from that. And we got to know that, hey, man, when we put good stuff out there and we play with our best effort and each guy does his job, we do a lot of good things. But there's a lot of things that we got to clean up because there was times when, we didn't make them earn it. And on the flip side of that, from an offensive standpoint, we didn't deliver when we needed to. So got a lot of tape to watch here for the first time in a long time. We got to correct some mistakes and start attacking a game plan here for Eastern.
Coach, I thought one of the positives in the game tonight was Jack Knight and your special teams at kicker. Talk a little bit about his performance and kind of how he stood out to you tonight.
Yeah, both Jack Knight and Jacob Lewis both. To see Jacob hammer that first kick, man, when he hammered that thing into the end zone, you could just see the confidence beaming when he was coming off the side there. So really excited because that was a battle that didn't have any spring, didn't have any real fall camp. So, that battle was going to go all the way up to game day. So I was proud. Obviously Jack, had one that just fell short there right before halftime. We had the one early in the game that you would love to have been able to capitalize on. We got down there in the red zone, was disappointed, thought there was maybe a chance we could have had I thought Johans got a little bit thrown to the ground there, but we had a chance to deliver at minimum a field goal there. So really proud that Jack battled back. And, that was a huge kick to tie the game from 47 yards, man. And so he stepped out there, a ton of confidence delivered. And Jacob, too, really proud of Jacob Lewis because it was good to see the ball traveling into the end zone on our kickoffs.
Mike, I know this team came into this game, into the season with a lot of confidence. As we discussed in the past, each order bust. When you think about that mantra at this point, tonight after this tough loss, what's the confidence level at? Is it still as high as it was pre-game, or is it taking a hit now just with how tough a loss this was?
Well, certainly it's disappointing to lose to Miami. They're the defending MAC champions, and that's our goal. And so the season got started with our rival on the road, and we didn't deliver and we didn't get it done. But I do believe that our guys will handle this when they leave here tonight as good as you can handle it, and we have to. We don't have time to have our chin down, feel sorry, and we're past that. We got some mature guys that played football. We got everything in front of us. We got to get back to work. We got to watch the tape. Everybody's got to look themselves in the mirror, own it like a man, take it on the chin, and then respond. And I expect that to happen. I expect us to get back to Muncie. It'll be whatever. We'll get back late, but I expect guys to be up and ready to roll tomorrow. Attacking the tape, getting after their academics. It's time for us to get moving forward here on Eastern. We got to leave this thing here behind us and worry about the one that's next on the schedule here.
Can you talk about, what goes through your head when Bryce Cosby gets called for that targeting and, how his, absence kind of hurts the secondary and, what you saw after he got hit with that targeting call?
Yeah, obviously, I am anxious to see the tape. I haven't seen it. I know the officials made that decision. The replay officials up in the booth, they looked at it. They determined that, from the best I could tell from the end zone shot that we had on the field level, I thought Antonio and Bryce kind of sandwiched each other. So I didn't have a great view. I'm anxious to see it. I feel for Bryce because I don't know what else. The quarterback didn't slide, and so I don't really know what else he could have done different. He's trying to make a play, and it happened. That's part of the football, part of the rules now. And so, but Bryce is a great leader, and he's one of our captains, one of our leaders on the leadership council. And so it hurts when you have a guy like that makes a lot of the calls on the back end, does a great job communicating. And so for us to lose him, for 3/4 of the game, basically, is very difficult to do, but he stayed positive and he did a good job of encouraging his teammates. And, I'm anxious to see the tape and to see what that looked like and have a discussion with, the conference office.
Did you see a turning point at when he got kicked out? Was there a turning point in the defense at all that you noticed when he was absent?
Oh, I mean, obviously, when you miss his veteran presence, so I think the communication piece of it. But I thought the guys that were, you talk about Brett, you talk about JT Wahi. I thought those guys, stepped in and competed their tail off. And obviously, Bryce did a good job of trying to stay engaged as much as he could with the defense on the sideline between series. And, you certainly miss him, though. He's played a lot of football games. You look at his career, and he's been a starter every single year since day one as a freshman. And so you miss that. But it's the hand that we were dealt during the course of the game for a guy just trying to make an aggressive play. And certainly I know those two guys, that was by no means something that was, intentional. They're trying to play, and the quarterback stayed up and he didn't slide, and it unfolded the way it did.
All right, fellas, we need to wrap it up here with Coach. If that's all right, I got Drew Plitt here.
Thanks, guys.
Fellas, go ahead and we'll just start with questions for Drew.
Hey, Drew.
Hey,
So what did you see on that very last drive? That the linebacker seemed to come out of nowhere. The throw was the right throw. You had plenty of space. What was going through your head in that very last moment?
Yeah, I mean, there was a play there. There's a play to be made, and I just missed it. That's my fault. I saw where he was at and just didn't make a good throw. That's what it comes down to.
Drew, I know you've been really one of the ones who's preached this Detroit or bust mantra over these past few months, especially with not being able to play. How do you keep up that momentum and confidence even after such a heavy loss like tonight?
Yeah, we move on from this week. Next week we start West play, and we win those 5 games. We're in the MAC championship. Our goal is still alive and still well.
I know you talk about, great performances from Caleb Huntley, 2 touchdowns, Justin Hall, 2 touchdowns, a lot of big plays. And obviously it wasn't the outcome you wanted. But with these performances, can you talk about the optimism going forward?
Yeah, I mean, we know what we expect from everybody on our team. Caleb, Justin, Johans, Antoine, everybody knows what we expect from each other. And we don't fall short of those expectations. For me, it was just a bad play. Failed an opportunity, failed for our team, and that's my bad.
For you, did it feel any different playing in a stadium with like less fans, like where as it wasn't as much fans as there normally would be in the game?
No, not at all. Football is football for me, and as long as I'm playing, that's all that matters.
And how is it for you, like trying to like not like seeing the lead slip away, but then trying to like get it back and trying to just like keep your mojo and keep like things rolling as on like on par and keep things going?
Yeah, watching the defense and not being on the field is difficult just to see what's going on. But it never wavers. I mean, we know what we expect and we know how good we are. I know the defense is getting to get the job done, and they did tonight. They got the job done. They gave us an opportunity to win the game. Same thing with specialists. We had an opportunity to win the game as an offense, and the offensive line, the skill players, they all made plays tonight. And ultimately, what it came down to is that last play, and I failed on that one.
Drew, how does your approach change for the rest of the season? You have 5 games left, all in the East. What does your approach look like?
Approach really doesn't change at all. We had the same mindset DOB, and we came in every day before this game with that mindset, and we're going to go into every day after this game with the same mindset. Is that all? Sounds good.
I think that's it. Thank you, Drew.
Thanks.
All right, guys, we got Christian Albright here. This will be our last guy tonight. We'll just take questions for Christian.
Hey, Christian, I know there was a lot of optimism surrounding this group, with Coach Stockton coming as the new head guy. I know Jay-Z as well with defensive backs and, a lot of veterans coming back. After a night like this, how do you view that optimism? How do you view this opening game?
Really, I mean, we're still very optimistic. We know we made some mistakes, and that's obviously expected with the new DC and some new coaches in the back end. But I know that we'll get those mistakes figured out, and we'll be back next week and ready to play.
I mean, how tough was it for you guys as a defense to lose a player like Bryce Cosby due to that targeting call?
It was very tough. Bryce he's a great leader and kind of our spiritual leader. He does a great job communicating. He knows a lot about the defense. So it was tough, but we definitely had good backup. So it wasn't too much of a drop off.
Drew talked about the defense gave you guys a chance to win, and while it wasn't the outcome you guys wanted, can you kind of talk about that last quarter and how that gives you optimism going into the rest of the season?
Yeah, it kind of reminded us of last year. We were in a lot of fourth quarter games. Some went our way, some didn't go our way. So, I mean, we know we've been in those situations before. Sometimes you don't end up on the winning end of it, but we know that if we fix our mistakes and go out there and execute, then we can get back on track and get some wins.
And then you guys led for much of the game up until that fourth quarter. As a defense, is that something you guys is that hard for you to watch the lead slip away like that at the end of the game when you guys know you're so close to having the game won?
It definitely is. I mean, I know, of course, the coach is going to say it's a team game and stuff, but on defense, we're obviously going to look at ourselves first, and giving up 38 points, that's way too many, and we know we need to do better to give this team a better chance to win.
So, Christian, when you say, you guys need to do better, what exactly does that approach look like for you? How do you guys do better and not allow a 38-point game?
Really just getting in the film room and just ironing out the mistakes we had. I mean, Miami definitely did a great job coming out and executing their game plan, but at the same time, I feel like we could have did better as a defense and executing our game plan and getting key stops against them as well.
And then for you guys as a defense, what do you feel was the turning point in this game where you guys knew okay, this is a chance where if we don't get a stop here, this could be the game?
I feel like a few of the possessions in the fourth quarter, we knew that if we could get a stop there, then that would be huge. And I feel like we made some stops and obviously didn't make some, but I feel like the fourth quarter, that's really what the game gonna come down to all the time. So fourth quarter possessions was definitely big.
Mistakes, stem from the penalties and stuff. Can you kind of talk about those? And, was it a product of just being a little rusty? Where do you think those stemmed from?
Yeah, I definitely think it was just a product of being rusty because the penalties on the outside on AJ and Antonio, they usually don't make those penalties, and they're both great players. So I just think it was a byproduct of being a little rusty and just getting back on the field for the first time in a game setting in a year. So I know they'll iron their mistakes out and be better.
How are you personally looking to get over this game and keep up that, the Detroit or bust mantra, all that positive energy you guys have had throughout your locker room up until now?
Really, we'll just get back, watch film tomorrow and take care of our post-game stuff, and then really just on to the next one. You got to have a short memory because next Wednesday night, I think we play Eastern Michigan, so we got to move on to the next game and can't hang our heads on this game too much.
Even with all the changes in the offseason, you guys are still able to hang with who many consider to be the really a possible double MAC champion returning as a MAC champion again. So what does that mean to you that even with all these changes that you guys can come in and compete and really they had a great chance to win the game at the end?
It's definitely a great feeling. I mean, I know, Miami definitely is a very good team, but like you said, I mean, we were in there to the fourth quarter and it really came down to the last 2 minutes of the ball game. So it's very optimistic, even with a new defensive coach and some changes on the offense as well. So that's very optimistic for us, and I know we'll keep moving forward.
Any other questions for Christian?
I think we're all good to go. Thank you, Christian. Appreciate it.
No problem.